Alrighty, so we're doing something a little bit different today. Destiny 2 has been my main game for a while now. Remember, I pre-ordered it back in 2017, played it on launch. Launch sucked, and then came back when Forsaken launched, and it's been my main game since then. Although it's in a pretty dry spot right now, to be honest. Although not just a dry spot, it's really bottom of the barrel right now. This is one of the worst states that Destiny 2 has ever been in, and so I figured why not look at some of the reviews for the game. The reviews have actually gone down recently. You can see right here that they're mostly positive right now, 78% positive. It used to be very positive, and recent reviews are mostly negative, 38% have been positive. So why not go ahead and look at some of the reviews for this game and see how it's doing, see what people really have to say. So first review, we have good, edit, never mind. Yeah, this is my friend that also plays the game. He more so played it for the Crucible, although Crucible has not been doing too well recently. To be fair, it has not been doing well for quite a few years. It's really not getting the amount of content that it should be getting, or updates, attention. It's not complete bottom of the barrel like Gambit is, but it should be doing better at least. Instead, it's kind of in a sad state. So also, is July 1st when the layoffs happen? Let me see this. No, the first round of layoffs were in October 30th of 2030. Oh my gosh, 2023. And the last time I played with my friend on Destiny 2 was, I think, for Vesper's Host Dungeon. We have not even done the Sunder Doctrine. I've only done Sunder Doctrine one time. I've really not had much interest in Destiny 2 in recent times, especially since I started daily uploading on YouTube. I've been uploading a bunch of variety content, and I've just been getting into variety games. It's been a pretty nice change of pace, actually playing games that are fun. We have a recently posted review of No, and yet it's positive, because that really shows the sentiment to the game of it just being such a love-hate relationship. You know, I hate Destiny 2, it's my favorite game. Really does resent with a lot of people. And right underneath that, we have this game should be considered self-harm. Yeah, that's not too far off. Game does do a number on your mental. Gets you addicted, and then yet you hate the game so much, but you can't stop. Oh, really, look at my recent playtime. I have 3.6 hours in the last 2 weeks. I had 3,560 hours in total, but more so about 4,000 because of the time it was on battle.net. Okay, going on, we got Destiny 2, The Light That Burned Too Long. We've got an actual full essay review. Holy crap, okay, this one's a little bit too long to look at. I'll read part of it, maybe the first paragraph or two. I was 12 when Destiny came out, 15 when Destiny 2 launched. I'm 23 now, and okay, this guy's the exact same age I am. For almost half my life, this universe has been a constant companion. Across thousands of nights, thousands of hours, and 4,200 on Steam alone, I fought gods, built fire teams, cleared raids, and watched the stars over the tower more times than I can count. This game shaped the way I see swords, friendships, and arts. That's part of the thing with people that have a bunch of playtime in it. Not really sunk cost fallacy, it's just it's been with us for so long that's kind of hard to let go. Like, I play it less now, but I still don't completely drop the game. We'll see how much longer that lasts though. After all that, I can't recommend it, not because I hate it, because I don't, but because I don't care anymore. And yep, there you go, apathy. It really is, like, I'm at the point where I don't care much to either. Like, if the game dies, I would not really bat much of an eye. In fact, I'd probably even feel relieved in some sense, because I put so much passion and care into this game. Like, it's really draining to want this game to do so well, and yet it just never does so well. It's exhausting caring for this game. That's the hardest part to admit. It's not pain or anger that finally broke me, it's apathy. The quiet realization that I've run out of reasons to log in, that the spark that once burned so bright has simply gone out. Destiny 2 hasn't betrayed me, it's exhausted me. That's pretty much what I just mentioned. It takes a lot of energy to care so much for the game and just how the devs treat it. Also, for things to log in, there are reasons, but they're just not really like fun reasons. Like, yeah, you can power level. Who wants to do that? The portal has taken a lot of things to play away from the game. Like, what, you got 3 encounters from 3 dungeons? 3 encounters in total from 3 separate dungeons, and you've got 1 raid to do. That's it. Okay, this guy has 0.4 hours on. You got over 100 hours. We're going to be dissecting you to understand how your brain functions. You most certainly eating AutoZone shrimp. The help you need will be with you shortly. I mean, 0.4 hours in, and this guy's brain is already fried. I've wasted 1,000 hours in this job, too, instead of getting a real job. Don't be like me. What's funny is I think my play time of 3,500 hours is actually on the lower side, because I look at that, I'm like, oh, that's only 500 hours a year, really. That's not all that much. But then when you think of how long 3,500 hours actually is, yeah, it's a fair bit of time. Like, I still am probably in the top 1% of playtime. I miss this game, crap was fire, Bungie sucks, yeah, it's more so like we don't hate the game, we just, oh, we're tired of the developers and how they treat the game. And keep in mind, when I say developers, I say whoever's actually making like the top level decisions. Removing paid content is such an amazing move. an excellent game, but yeah, that sunsetting of content really has hurt the game over the years, because it really hurts for new players, especially. Like, I have no interest in playing the Red War again, or Curse of Osiris, Warmind, the Forsaken campaign. I don't want to play any of those again. I've had my fair share of time for that, but I do recognize that they're at least good for new players, because in middle of 2020, before Beyond Light came out, where Destiny 2 kind of truly felt like a free game, you had the Red War for free, you had Curse of Osiris for free, Warmind. It was at least a decent amount of content to help direct a new player on what to do and kind of get them into the game. Now that's all gone. You do whatever Shahan has, and that's like bottom of the barrel content. You got public events and lost sectors. Like, who wants to do that? If you want to push players away from your game, that's one way to do it. And also story for new players, it's just all given at you in the first like minute or two of the game. We got another positive review. It just says plus. All right, I mean, fair enough. Another decent sized review, not as long as that one essay. God, what a fall from grace. I am no deep Destiny veteran. Yeah, 867 hours. I mean, that's still a decent amount of playtime. I never had my chance to play Destiny 1. Oh man, I kind of feel bad for you. I got into D1 like around Taken King, so I didn't experience like the woes of sunsetting some weapons. I didn't get to experience like the lows of the game per se. So instead, I have like a probably better memory of how Destiny 1 was for me than others, but Destiny 1 still today is like a really good game, I'd say. There's at least not much hate behind the game. Nor did I jump at the launch under Activision Blizzard. Activision days. I mean, I know we ain't fans of Activision, but at least we're fans of Vicarious Vengeance and High Moon Studios. That's who we're fans of. But I had my peak Shadowkeep launch, but I got to see the history, play the past expansions, and flow into the new ones. I had my seasons Dawn, the Sundial, and Osiris looking for Saints, Splicer in the alliance with our long-standing enemy to save our home, Risen, and our all-fronts war against our enemy wielding the light. Sorry, I struggle to read sometimes. I even made sure to grind out Galahorn and the GOA Grasp of Avarice dungeon before I left for conscription, and then brought my controller to try catching it up to Season of the Plunder story missions. It used to be fun playing it daily. I used to play the weekly content with excitement, compare my new roles with hope to their new builds, and then spend the entire week's free time using those builds in the Crucible. I'm trying to say I loved it. I did. Yeah, I mean, those are good times. Actually logging on weekly for weekly story stuff is something we don't get right now. Like, yeah, the weekly stuff could get repetitive. It could get a little formulaic at times, but it at least was a story to get into. Now there's just whatever Ashen Iron is. I don't even know what the story is right now. But that was then, and this is now. A shell, a husk of its former self, a dry skin suit trying to pretend it's worthy of the name it carries. Fun, fresh activities turned to mandatory grind. What was once familiar but interesting is now repetitive and frustrating. Long has that Bungie magic gone. People are gone, the stories are gone. Well, it turns out the player's goodwill is also gone. I recommend a time machine and some hard liquor if you want to enjoy this game. I don't recommend what it is now. Yeah, the sunsetting content really has hurt the game, like I've said already. And then Portal is just, it's not working really. So much, it basically sunset content, even though you can still play the content. It's just there's absolutely no reason to play the content, and people need reason to do things. People are a lot more goal oriented these days. It's not like the old days of early 2000s where we could just hop in a game and have fun by just playing the game. Also, this is a looter shooter. A big reason for playing the game is to play the game and get loot. And well, a lot of that incentive is kind of gone. There's good loot to attain, but there's not much variety to actually get loot. As a new player, oh wow, we actually have a new player. Those are rare. As a new player, I found Destiny 2 to be a lot of fun. I hear and understand the complaints of longtime D2 fans, but as someone who only knows the current game, I'm not finding it to be bad. And I kind of get surprised by these people that leave like longer paragraphs for reviews. Actually doing review things. It was a beautiful game, great optimization. Maybe, but I mean, the game does run fine. I think there's just an issue with NVIDIA drivers and crashing. As someone that's on an AMD card, I don't have that issue. Although in the Season of Heresy, I did start randomly crashing a lot more. Gameplay is top tier. Yes, the gunplay gameplay is always good. That's always been a highly praised talking point of the game. Lots of build options with easy to access exotics to boost your DPS. That's still also true. The game is pretty player friendly. It's not that difficult to play. Music is a vibe. Yes, music's good. No one's ever complained about that. Cons, horrible menu UI. Yeah, I can see why so many people hate the Portal. It's clunky and laggy. IMO, the worst part of the game. Okay, so they made the Portal for new players, and new players are not even enjoying that part of the game. I think that's really telling. Like, yeah, the world map is not the most clear to figure out. Also, aren't you as a new player only having part of the map unlocked? Like, don't you kind of progress planet to planet? Doesn't throw everything at you, right? Lightfall, wow, this expansion is so bad. After playing through the other campaigns like Shadowkeep, Witch Queen, and Final Shape, I can 100% say Lightfall is trash. Yeah, well, A lot of people have said that the expansion, apart from the opening and ending, is boring. True, it's basically filler. That's all that is. Silver Surfer guy is cringe. He's definitely talking about Nimrod, aka Nimbus, and the story overall just felt like it could have been an email. Yeah, again, it's filler. People have put the starting cutscene combined with the ending cutscene, and there you go. You get basically 5 minutes of like relevant content, which sucks because Neptune is probably the second best world IMO. The world itself does look nice, although trailers made it seem like it was going to be so much more. Navigation tool, I'm not sure if this is just me, but the diamond icon that tells you where to go during a mission will either disappear a lot of the time or just flat out tell me to go to the wrong way. There is kind of an issue with waypoints where they don't correctly guide you, and that can be annoying when that happens. No Steam Deck support. This as well to me. Destiny 2 is a perfect game for the deck, but it won't even launch natively because of the invisible launcher. I wish they would fix this. I thought it was supported on Steam Deck. Maybe it's not. Overall, I really like the game, but I see what people are saying. The shoving of content is not only a bad quality of life for the game. Yeah, it's been 5 years since then, and people still remember that. That's gotta be like the worst move in Bungie's history, and that's kind of kicking them in the butt right now with that Red War copyright lawsuit thing majig going on. But for people like me who never played the game, I now don't get to experience the content. Yeah, again, like Red War, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's still nice for new players to experience it. So what else we got? Gameplay and graphics are nice. Gunplay is some of the best in any FPS I've ever played. The build crafting is amazing. The problem is with the Edge of Fate expansion, they basically made a new game without making a new game. That's a good way of putting Edge of Fate with like the portal changes. They made a Destiny 3 without making a Destiny 3, and they pretty much made it worse. I've not heard many people praise the portal like I did it was like a roller coaster. First week people weren't vibing with it, then like the second or third week people started enjoying it, and then now after that it fell off again, and we see the flaws and there's just no fixing them, it seems like. While I love this game, I've noticed myself play less and less. Yeah, lots of people have. From a person who played in Witch Queen to now, old Destiny is better. This game is still good, I just miss old Destiny. Yeah, I feel the same way about Destiny. Like, it still is not a bad game, but a lot of us players know what it could be and know what it has been, and the new content that's coming out is really not great. Ash and Iron was not a good update. Activities boring, not fun to play. In terms of the Edge of Fate expansion itself, the story was fine to me, but everything else was whatever. And then again, just old content is not relevant at all. Recommended with caveats. As a free game, it's decent enough, probably the best gunplay around and worth checking out for that alone. True, again, agree with that. But there's also some really nasty stuff going on there too. Caveat 1, you have no guarantee your stuff won't be deleted on purpose, but it does. Yeah, he's talking about sunsetting and sunsetting of content as well. That's really not good. At least like over here on Warframe that I'm playing right now, all the content from launch of the game is still here, minus raids were something that they attempted to do and that just didn't work out for them, so they scrapped it. But besides that, rest of the game's still here. Seasons, all quests, everything. Caveat 2, the onboarding, teaching you what's what, is so bad. Yeah, again, there's like no direction for the game, not much guidance, and you really, if you're a new player, you need someone to help guide you through the game, and that's important because new players are important. If you want your game to grow in any sense, you need the new player experience to be good. Caveat 3, I mean this literally with no trace of hyperbole. Destiny 2 has the worst connection issues of any game I've ever played. Not having dedicated servers, that's been stressed a lot, especially in Crucible. We all know the song and dance. And then he goes on a long tangent about connection issues. And Caveat 4, exactly the same as Caveat 3, but with a bunch of swearing this time. Continuing on, from a newcomer, oh my gosh, can I speak? Man, from a newcomer's perspective, a bit confusing at times to track down what's next with all the content out there. I bought the Legendary Pack, I think, has everything. This is a fun shooter with a fantastic, engaging, and cinematic storyline. Something I forgot to completely mention with new player experience, the DLCs. You have to like look up which DLC came out first and figure out which order to buy them, which order to play them in, as you can play them out of order if you want to. You could play the Witch Queen first, and then Shadowkeep, and then Final Shape, and then Lightfall, and then you could really just go all over the place, which I don't think is good for the game at all. In Warframe, you have to do certain prerequisites to complete a quest. It forces you to go down a linear story, as that's what it is. It's supposed to be a linear story. There's no branching storyline or anything like that. Community has been helpful in getting me through content I can't complete on my own. Oh, well, that's nice to hear. Like, I've heard some issues of LFG, but it's nice that he's had a good experience. I've had veterans walk me through some difficult encounters. The jumping puzzle can be frustrating, at least on a controller and PlayStation 5 combo. That's just something that comes better with time. You'll improve at any sort of jumping, although it doesn't help if you're on Lone Warlock because they have the least controllable jump, unless you're using Heat Rises. I weirdly love this game, but man, is it so confusing. The story it throws you in feels alive and enjoyable. Art style is insane, but the new player experience is laughable. Again, talking about the new player experience and how bad it is. I'm just here doing solo ops thinking, is this all Destiny is? Ooh, yeah, I never thought about that, playing solo ops. If you're just playing solo ops, the game probably feels so empty and like lacking content, because I mean, it really kind of is lacking content. Or as the old saying from Dado was, there's a lot to do, but none of it matters. Destiny 3, yeah, he's on the board too. While I would like a Destiny 3, I don't want a Destiny 3 from Bungie. I would want it to be a different company, a company that can actually deliver. All right, let's see here. Do we have any other negative reviews? Because I'm seeing a lot of reviews that are actually recommended. I think it's funny how a lot of the not recommended reviews are people that have quite a few hours, like over 100 hours at least at the bare minimum. I mean, this guy has 10,000 hours on record and he's not recommending it. So I guess we'll read a few more of the not recommended reviews and call it there. Let's check out Arcane Aardvark with 10,000 hours on record. Not recommending this game. First of all, let me say this. I've been a loyal Destiny fan since it launched over 10 years ago. Yep. Classic vet. But that has changed with this new expansion. Again, talking about Edge of Fate. I have well over 10,000 hours between console and PC with the Edge of Fate and the new gear tiers, character leveling, and weapon tiers. I have lost all interest in the game. What better way to offend your player base than telling them that all the armor and weapons that they have spent countless hours grinding towards is now useless? I will say I don't mind the new armor system. The new stats are really nice and they definitely are an improvement over what we had previously. So I don't mind armor sunsetting because it's been improved a fair bit. Like I actually care about different stats instead of just resilience, recovery, and mostly discipline. Before it was just go with resilience and you're good. Now I'm actually caring about multiple different stats. And the weapon tiers I don't mind as well, but I think a problem is tiers 1 through 4 no one cares about. They're fodder. At this point you might as well almost have just 2 weapon tiers, like tier 1 and tier 5, like those equivalents. I think it's like a waste of time to work on tiers 1 through 4. Basically just have tier 5 be the new adept and tier 1 be the regular old non-adept. That's really all that you need right now. And again, he talks about character leveling, which people just have not enjoyed. I think the main issue with it is just that there was no variety in it. Now, leveling isn't much of an issue. It's pretty fast, I think. But for months, it was just mundane and boring. Unless you pour every waking moment you had to get that tier 5 gear, you aren't maximizing your builds anymore. Exactly as I said, tiers 1 through 4 are garbage. No one cares. The portal and a level grind of spending countless mind-numbing hours grinding the same activity over and over or try to level up as a morale killer for the game, which is so far removed from actually listening or understanding the player base. It should be a major red flag. Yeah, it was a red flag when we wanted the leveling to be improved and then they nerfed it at first. Actually, that was like a huge disconnect from the community, and we let them know that that was not a good move. I can't even express the amount of disgust I have for this game after Edge of Fate released. Yeah, people don't like Edge of Fate. I'm done with this game. I don't think Bungie can bring it back to the point where I was excited to log in and run missions. Congratulations, Bungie, you have lost another one. And he's lost one with 10,000 hours. He actually has 0 hours in the last 2 weeks, so he really has not been playing much recently, that is. Let's see, actually, what are the reviews for Destiny 2 Edge of Fate? Okay, 34% positive in total. Recent reviews, there's only 43, and 13% are positive. Oh boy, let's read some of these. Overpriced for what it is. Yeah, $40 for this is kind of insane. You can buy Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silksong with that. So I came back to this game after 4 months because Bungie got desperate via their Green Man Gaming bundle. That does actually seem like a pretty good bundle. And my friend who wanted to move to the Steam version of this game wanted to split the contents of the bundle 50-50. What does a tired Destiny 2 vet who only decided to come back for Star Wars content this December think? Oh, he's actually interested in the Star Wars content. Okay. I'm indifferent towards the Renegades, like the theme of it. Like, I'm not a Star Wars fan, I'm not a Star Wars hater. I'm just like, yeah, alright. Sure. Pros, the storytelling of the base campaign is, I have to admit, better than Final Shape. Wait, what do you mean base campaign? I mean, I can only assume he's talking about Edge of Fate campaign because the Destiny 2 base game does not have a campaign. Oh, he even has a mid. Soundtrack is good, but a lot of the tracks don't have the kind of Michael Salvatore charm. Yeah, people really miss him. Although apparently he's working again for Renegades. We'll have to see on that. While it's not as noticeable as I feared, the soundtrack mostly isn't anything memorable either. Yeah, I don't remember any Destiny 2 soundtracks recently. Cons: the Portal by Paper gave us promise of customizing our in-game content experience so that we can be rewarded more for less annoyance. Execution: dear golly, the Portal is ironically more restrictive and less rewarding. Yes, people do not really customize to what they want to play, they customize to what's best to play. When you give people options, they're going to choose what's optimal. It's just how our instincts are. We go the path of least resistance because we don't want to experience pain. The power creep: we thought sunsetting origin traits and crafting were the worst of it. What if I told you all of those now are completely obsolete for a system called tiers? I've already talked about the tier system and what I think about it. All that armor you grind for in Master Dungeons to slightly increase your stats to make a big enough difference to make a triple 100 armor build, gone. I mean, again, you can use them, but they're not what's best to use. I can understand being a bit upset about that being quote unquote taken away, but again, I do think the normal armor system is a lot better. It just, again, there needs to be only 2 tiers. You have the non-adept and you have the adept. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need this 5 different options baloney that just bloats the game and probably takes adepts more time to work out. The tier system is just the adept system with extra steps. All those enhanced shiny weapons you grind for, well, the tiered weapons now do 10% more damage because even their barrels and magazines can be enhanced now. 10% difference doesn't sound like much, but in a game like Destiny where every little statistic makes a life or death difference in combat, congrats, your 600 or so weapons in your vault are now obsolete. Being honest, my vault is like at 530-ish. I still have not gotten rid of most of my weapons because I don't feel the need to. On top of the fact that the game punishes you or outright stops you from accessing certain match-made instances when you equip said weapons you grinded and prayed to RNG's hard for. Yeah, what's it called again? Avant-Garde or whatever? The whole seasonal special weapons and armor, a seasonal bonus. Yeah, that's not good. No one likes that. No one likes variety being limited. The price mirror when Bungie said that Edge of Fate and onwards were going to be more bite-sized DLC and that they were even going to reduce the cost slightly of each expansion to meet that. I don't remember that. I remember the bite-sized DLC thing. Although, did Bungie say that? I mean, didn't they compare it to Rise of Iron? I don't remember the price part. Well, they weren't kidding about the lesser-sized DLC, and yeah, that's true. Price is the same, $40 as any yearly expansion. Aren't yearly expansions more like 50, maybe even 60? I could be wrong with that. I always buy the $100 edition because it's just the best price. Me having paid $17 total for this and the next DLC total doesn't make that any better. Yeah, I do feel like I kind of got ripped off on my money in some sense, and that there was a huge sale like that, because I technically paid the full price for Renegades. Again, I bought the $100 edition, so it's kind of like I paid full price for Renegades while some people get it cheaper. That really is weird. Again, with this full essays, I mean, it's nice for a review to actually go into full detail, but man, there's a lot to read. Everyone hates light level system. Yep, no one really cares for it. Servers are still an unstable spaghetti code joke. Yeah, still not dedicated servers, not getting them. Monetization, everyone rightfully hates and complains about in the Eververse store. I wouldn't complain about Eververse if everything else in the game was free. DLC, seasons, content updates, if those were all free, no problem with Eververse. The fact that there's Eververse and all the paid DLC and content, bit too much. Hackers and PvP activities has spiked in activity. They're always there, really. I don't think anything's going to be done about that at this point. It's GG. Kepler as a location is already empty and spacious as all heck compared to a majority of Destiny 2's location. It really is weird. Kepler feels large, but it feels so empty. It's probably because of the whole ball simulator that you play as. It's like in Halo when they expanded maps to accommodate for sprint. It's like they're trying to accommodate for the ball mode. All the design isn't anything terrible like Lightfall, true, but it's nothing memorable either, and reeks of disgusting repetitive usages of Matter Spark to enable or disable everything, or for Bungie to shove more of their stupid jumping puzzles, which wouldn't in itself be an issue if this game's physics weren't so terrible. Yeah, again, Matter Spark, people are not having fun with it much. I'd much rather just have my Sparrow. Like, I know Matter Spark can be good to use, it can be a powerful tool to use. It's not fun, I don't want to use it, just give me my Skimmer. And Kepler, nothing interesting, or some short reviews. This DLC is such a poopy nothing burger. I mean, story was fine, besides that, I'd say Edge of Fate is the worst thing to happen to Destiny, but IMO, Bungie is. Stay away from this game. True, this man knows what's up. This overpriced piece of crap might genuinely be the biggest collection of back-to-back worst decisions made in gaming history. Holy I don't know about gaming history, but for Bungie history, yeah, absolutely. Next to sunsetting, again, content sunsetting is the worst thing to ever happen. I've just made a D3 instead of Marathon, but what does the consumer know what they want? And some people sentences praying that Renegades finally sinks this game so I can at least remember it as a 6 out of 10 instead of whatever the crap this thing was. It's weird to kind of hope the game dies so that you can finally just be let go. You can finally just be set free. It's so weird. What else? After years of my time invested, jackets, pens, etc. Oh, this guy's bought the whole collection. They finally made something terrible enough to get me to stop playing, and this was it. And there you go, another hardcore player lost. 8% of the game saw sunset by new weapon and armor tiers. Again, I've made my piece about weapon and armor tiers. Portal is the worst part. If all the content had the new tier system, wouldn't be so bad. But problem is, it doesn't. In fact, very little of content has a new tier system. Thank you, Bungie, for freeing me from your clutches. Sorry, I just don't think it's so funny that people are like almost satisfied to finally be let go from this game. You never cease to innovate ways to make the game worse. Bravo. Positive one. The campaign story was told very well. I enjoyed it a lot. The Metroid style mechanics were not my favorite. Again, people not talking about Matters Part. Honestly, is it really even that much of a Metroid style mechanic? Because I've been playing Hollow Knight and it's been my first Metroidvania, and I am not seeing similarities between the two at all. But the changes they made to this game were honestly equivalent to a Destiny 3. They really need new content, which is hopefully coming in Renegades. Look, they don't just need new content, they need fun content. Because yeah, Ash and Iron is new content. Is it fun though? Heck no. Alright, let's end it on this one. A lot of complaints about the Edge of Fate are complaints for changes introduced to Destiny 2 during this expansion. The campaign is fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't call it fantastic, but to each their own. If you want a great story to get you excited for future releases, then you will find that in Edge of Fate. Maybe? I'm gonna be honest, I do not care about Lakshmi at all. Or not Lakshmi, Maya Sundaresh. She's boring to me. Really, I just want her gone already. She's more of an annoyance because of her goal. She doesn't have an intriguing or scary goal. She just has one that makes you want to slap her and tell her to shut up already. And also, to be excited about future releases, we need to actually have content be fun. I'd rather have a garbage story with fun content, fun gameplay, than have a great story with boring content, because really that's what most of Destiny has been for its life. Story has always just been whatever, who cares all that much. I mean, there's the lore pieces that you can read if you're that into lore, but story, typically no one has ever really cared for that much until somewhat recent years, but people have always stayed because of the gameplay. They've never stayed because of the story. Like, would even Bife be covering lore if the gameplay has always been middle or boring? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to read over these reviews, see what people have to say. Got more Hollow Knight coming. I've been uploading Hollow Knight every other day, so if you want to watch that and whatever other content I put out, feel free to keep in touch. See you in the next one.